Conservative Meat Peeps, what's up? It's me, John D. Villarreal and Paul Villarreal. We're still talking about Strikeforce Heavyweight Grand Prix quarterfinals that kicked off in New Jersey today. And we just talked about how Fedor lost to Antonio Bigfoot Silva. And in that fight afterwards, rather, in the interview, Fedor made it seem and kind of alluded to he may be retiring. Maybe this is it. He's lost 2 in a row. He's facing guys that are just too big. As Paul says, he seems to have lost a little bit of aggression, a little bit of speed, and the crowd was shocked. The crowd was sad. I'm sad. I'm a huge Fedor fan, but I've been seeing him for a long time. He's been in a lot of wars. You know, he's got plenty of money. I'm sure he wants to be healthy, you know, for the rest of his life. He never has to work a day of his life again if he doesn't want to. Paul, what Fedor said shocked the crowd. What did you think about this, and what do you make of his announcement? It wasn't a full announcement, but it was a partial announcement, I guess.
The thing about Fedor, one of the things that makes him so great and such a legend, besides his incredible record, is that he's a calm, relaxed guy, and you don't get the sense that he said what he said in emotional fashion. It's like, I'm sure he's sitting there thinking, look, I haven't lost in 30 fights. Now I just lost 2 fights in a row. Well, maybe it's about time to hang it up. And Fedor, as you mentioned, Fedor is not a guy who's going to hang around to get another payday or stuff like this. I'm sure he doesn't want to sully his legend, by making fights that he shouldn't fight. So it's like, I'm sure he's going to think very hard about this. I do think there were times in the fight that Fedor a couple of years ago would have taken advantage where maybe now he can't do it in the same to the same level of effectiveness or with the same speed. And so he's got to look at that. And every time, every person, every fighter, there comes a time to hang him up. Fedor's 34 years old. He has nothing to prove. Sure, he'd like to break through to an American audience and do great in a new organization. But he doesn't, at some point, it's just, your time has come, and, he's going to have to decide if that time is now.
Yeah, I remember I won my last national championship in lifting at age 35, and, my body, late 35, mind you, but I was almost 36, but my body was telling me, that's it, and I barely made it through that one. And so, I did great. I did well, I also won best lifter. But, definitely a lot of pain, a lot of injury came off of that and whatnot. And, there's been times people want me back, and I thought, I'll come back. And it's just like, when your time is done, your time is done. And, could I do it anymore now at an even older age, at 40? I don't know. But, A, I tend to doubt it, and B, if I did, you never know. If I started really training again, because I've kind of backed off, whatnot, but the point is that, the risk factor is just so much higher now. When I was a kid and I got injured at doing something insane, squatting 800 and whatever, I'd injure myself, and then come back and squat 50 pounds the next week. Now, if I get injured, I'm out for a month or something like that. And I think it affects us all. And so, when you're talking about a sport like fighting or lifting or NFL or wrestling, something where it's a hardcore, intense contact or strength sport or, something like that, you just only have so much time, and it's a lot of times it's better to get out when the getting's good, especially when you've made a lot of money, you have a big reputation, a big name, and, as much as I'd love to see Fedor fight some more, it probably is smart for him to step away now, unless he wants to retool it and go down to 205 and do something where I think he could tear it up for a while, but will people care about Fedor 205? I don't know. And I'm sure he's got other plans and other things to do, whether it's with Putin or whether it's in politics or whether it's in merchandising or business deals or whatever. So, Fedor's done what he needed to do with fighting. I don't think he needs to do anything more. But, man, we'll sure miss him. What a great, great champion, incredible guy. What do you think about that? Should Fedor retire? Oh, go ahead.
Let me just say one more thing here. And we talked about this in another video. I want to mention it here. The thing with Fedor is, if he was, he's an undersized heavyweight. This is a guy fighting mismatches basically every time he steps in. And so if he was a bigger dude, if he was a 250, 6'3" guy, maybe he could hang around a little bit longer. Or maybe he thinks it would be a simpler. But this is a man who, it's like Roy Jones in boxing. Once you start losing the skills that make you able to do things that other people can't do. And in Fedor's case, being able to overcome these David versus Goliath size disadvantages, it's a different thing. You know, if he was fighting 205, maybe, you know, maybe he does stick around another couple years. But, you know, fighting the heavyweights, well, no, maybe now it's time to walk away.
Especially in the land of these super heavyweights that are pushing the maximum of the weight limit and are every ounce of it, you know, and they're not fat, they're fit, they're strong, they're young, they're well-rounded. And I think that's the thing. What do you think? Should Fedor retire? Should he not retire? What do you think he's going to do? What's your prediction? Is this just that he's, you know, has the emotions from after the fight, or is it time for him to turn a chapter and for other people to do it? You tell me what you think. Fedor talks about his retirement. It seems like this may be the last time. He hasn't made an official announcement yet, but it seemed like this was the last time Fedor is going to fight. You tell me what you think. Comments below, subscribe above. We want to salute a great champion and one of our heroes of MMA and what we believe is the greatest fighter of all time in MMA up to this point, Fedor Emelianenko. We hope that he does whatever he wants to do and what's right for him. If that's stay in the mix, that's fine. If that's go do something else, that's fine too. And maybe, as Paul says, maybe it's best to, as I said too, to get while the getting's good. For Conservative Media, I am John. That is Paul. We're Conservative Media, and we'll see you next time.